Hello friends, and welcome to MCAT Sociology by the People's Tutor. Today we'll be discussing social facilitation. I hope you all are making positive strides with your MCAT preparation and that it's not getting you down. Remember, during this process, make time to chat with a loved one each day, even if it's for a few minutes on the phone. Make a conscious effort to reconnect with someone every week. For example, take a break and go out to lunch for an hour or two on a Saturday or a Sunday with a best friend, or with an old friend, or with an old friend that used to be a best friend. If going out isn't possible, catch up over the phone for an hour with that friend. Laugh, smile, and breathe. Woosah. Taking care of yourself and having a healthy work, study, and life balance is key to acing this exam. Today we'll be discussing social facilitation. We will go over the definition and then go through a few examples. After watching this video, please apply the knowledge you learned by doing tons of questions. This should be your game plan anytime you're studying for this exam. You should devote as much time to doing questions as you do studying content, if not more. This brings me to a very important point. These videos are not meant to serve as your main MCAT preparation tool. There are many test prep companies out there for that. There are also a lot of other free resources out there for that. If you're tackling this exam, you most likely already know this. These videos are meant, at most, to supplement your main study tools. The main study tools you use should supply you with many practice questions. Many current medical students and pre-meds that I know tell me stories of exponential increases in their MCAT score after incorporating tons, and I mean tons, of practice questions into their study regimen. I myself can attest to seeing much better results after incorporating many practice questions into my study regimen. It may be hard at first because you feel you need to thoroughly understand concepts and get through a lot of content before tackling questions. Some of you may be scared of getting questions wrong and making a complete ass of yourself. But really, who are you making an ass of yourself to, other than yourself? Let's be honest. I know, we can be our own worst critic. But listen to me very closely. Come close to the computer screen, or iPad, or a cell phone, or whatever you're streaming this through. Come closer, listen. Get over that fear right now. Get over it. There. Yes, I said it. Get over it. Get over yourself, for goodness sakes. Get out of your own way and do the damn questions. Doing questions may suck at first, but the more questions you do, the more you get used to it. And before you know it, it becomes routine. That's the point you want to get to, where questions become routine. You want to be thoroughly familiar with how questions are asked on the MCAT exam. You get that by doing questions. There's no two ways about it. Do questions and then go over the answers and explanations, even if you got the answer right. It's part of learning. Again, don't be afraid of getting the answer wrong. Better to get the wrong answer while practicing and fixing the issue before the real exam, right? Anyway, before I digress too far, my friends, let's dig in. Social facilitation. Social and facilitation. Social facilitation. Let's break it down. Social can mean a group or the public. Facilitation can mean assisting, improving, or making something easier. So could social facilitation mean a group or the public or others in general assisting, improving, or making something easier? Well, maybe. Before we get into the technical definition, I just wanted to use this as an example of how just breaking down a word or a term can be helpful in warming up and getting a glimpse of the true meaning of something. For the MCAT, you want to know that social facilitation is the idea that people tend to perform better when they're in the presence of others. The thing to remember with social facilitation is that when we are talking about doing better in front of others, we're referring to doing better when a person is performing simple, well-rehearsed tasks, tasks that they are familiar with and that come easy to them for one reason or another, maybe from years of practice or experience. Who knows? The bottom line is that we are not referring to complex tasks. So with that tidbit of extra information, let's expand on our definition of social facilitation. Social facilitation is a tendency for people to perform better on easy tasks when they're being watched or observed than when they are alone. If the task is unfamiliar or complex, performance will be hindered or worse. Why does this happen? Well, it's human nature for people to become aroused by the real or perceived evaluation of others. I mean, just think back to a time when you didn't really know how to do something and you had to do it in front of others. You probably got nervous and didn't do very well. But if it was something that you were really familiar with or were really good at, you probably did good or even better in front of others because it was your time to shine and you felt confident. Here's a scenario that serves as an example of social facilitation. I'd like you guys to pause the video, read it, examine it, and then we'll come back together and discuss it. Welcome back. Let's go through this example together. Jared, a 27-year-old basketball player, has been playing basketball since he was 6 years old, and he is really good at it. He always gets really excited and energized to play and show off his basketball skills in front of a crowd. Whenever he is practicing free throw shots by himself, he makes his free throw shots around 90% of the time. When he plays with his team and in front of a crowd, he makes his free throw shots around 99% of the time. Swish! So what pieces of information from this scenario lets us know that this is an example of social facilitation? Well, for one, we're told that Jared has been playing basketball since he was 6 years old and that he is really good at it. So for Jared, basketball is a simple and familiar task. We're also told that when he plays with his team and in front of a crowd, he lands his free throw shots around 99% of the time. This is versus the 90% of the time that he lands his free throw shots when he's practicing by himself. So Jared's performance is enhanced when he is in front of others. So this scenario is an example of social facilitation where the presence of others is making one's performance better. Example number 2. Take a moment, pause the video, read it, analyze it, then we'll come back together and talk about it. Welcome back. Let's go through this example. Amelia has been taking violin classes for a month and is a novice at it. Her first recital is in a week. In preparation, she practices in front of her parents for the first time. While practicing in front of her parents, she keeps messing up on the song she's trying to play. She gets frustrated because when she was alone practicing, she was able to get through the song without as many mistakes. That was the only reason she had the courage to play in front of her parents in the first place. She starts to doubt if she'll be able to play in the upcoming recital in front of an entire audience. So what pieces of information from this scenario let us know that it is an example of social facilitation? Well, for one, we are told that Amelia is a novice at playing the violin. Therefore, playing the violin for Amelia is a complex task. It is not easy for her. Furthermore, we are told that she has only been taking violin classes for a month. So we can also say that playing the violin is an unfamiliar task for Amelia. In this case, meaning that it is fairly new to her. Finally, we are told that she messes up more when playing in front of her parents than when she was practicing by herself. In other words, her performance is hindered when she's in front of others. So this is an example of social facilitation where the presence of others is making someone's performance worse. Okay, y'all, let's wrap this up. Remember that the focus of social facilitation is one's performance. Okay? It's one's performance in front of others. It's one's performance in front of others and whether it changes for the better or for the worse when compared to their performance when they're alone.